Coming up on the Geno Auriemma Show, presented by UConn Health.
She was expected to be great, but just because you expect it doesn't mean it's going to happen, and for her it's happened. She's become great.
I was wondering if you could tell us a little about your freshmen and how they're progressing this season.
Like most freshmen, it's a struggle. You have to act like I got it, but deep down inside you're scared to death because this is the biggest challenge you've ever faced.
Plus,
anybody paying attention out there, when do you want to show our games? Not 9:30.
Geno gives some friendly advice to the NCAA schedule makers. That and much more.
If they hadn't gotten Bin Laden when they got him, I would have said, send CV over to find him. No question. Nobody's going to hide from her.
On the Geno Auriemma Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geno Auriemma Show, presented by UConn Health. I'm Kareth Burke. With the new year upon us, the UConn Huskies are in a familiar position, on top of the rankings and undefeated. Leading the charge are three talented upperclassmen who could become the first college athletes to win 4 consecutive national championships. I'm with the man himself, Geno Auriemma. And the Naismith Award list, the watch list, came out. You've got 3 players on it: Brianna Stewart, Morgan Tuck, Mariah Jefferson. So Stewie's won this award before, but this year you have that trio on a really esteemed list. And it made me wonder,
how many people are on that list?
now wait a minute. Okay, we can start there. I think it starts with 50.
50.
Well, you've had a winner, and you've had previous winners and multiple winners.
Yeah.
My point was about this trio is that they came in as a recruiting class. They've all done so well together.
Right.
How did they do it?
Some years it just works out that way. Obviously, we knew when we were recruiting them that they were 3 of the best players in their class and 3 of the best players in the country, obviously. But even doing that, you're not quite sure how things are going to evolve once they get to college. You know, things happen. Some players get way better, some stay the same. So you don't know. So for all 3 of them to have had a certain level of success, the only one who's had any setbacks to this point has been, Morgan having to sit out most of that 1 year. But, here they are as seniors, and they were probably 3 of the top 5 players in the country coming out of high school. And now 4 years later, they're 3 of the top 5 players in college basketball. So unusual, yeah, and I'm really proud of them. I'm really happy for them. Things don't come easy. You don't just step in to a program like ours and immediately feel, this sense of, I got it. And then there's kids that walk around and they'll tell you, yeah, I got it. And they're lying because you don't have it. It's like walking into your first math class if you're not a math major. And, and a week later you go, yeah, I got this. And then your first exam comes and you realize, I don't have anything. You're just kind of faking your way through it. And that's what freshman year is like playing here. There's this element of, you have to act like I got it. Like I'm confident, I'm sure of myself, but deep down inside you're scared to death because this is the biggest challenge you've ever faced. So every freshman is a learning curve, and for some it's very steep, and others it's not that bad. I think their freshman year, the one who picked it up the quickest was Tuck, because she was exactly the same then as she is today. She was just steady. Morgan Tuck is like, she looks like a senior out there. Everything's effortless. She's in great shape. She's the best passer. She don't miss layups. The other 2 were much more, mercurial. But, they eventually, the great ones, they eventually figure it out. And once they do, there's no stopping them.
Tuck inside for 2.
If you could invent an award for Morgan Tuck, what would it be?
I don't know. I think Tuck got penalized for being on our team last year. Like, she got rewarded for winning a national championship, and everybody on our team knows that without her we can't win. But around the country, I think people maybe overlooked her because it wouldn't be fair to give UConn that many awards. So they cheated her out of it. So I don't think I have to invent anything for Tuck in the sense that there's no way to overlook her now. I mean, she's an All-American. And if you asked, every basketball coach in America, take 3 players from anywhere in the country, or take 5 anywhere in the country to start your team, you don't think they would take her? So I think she's going to get what she deserves coming later this season. But, even that's so subjective, too. And I try to prepare my players for that. I say, when people vote on things that you should get, I said, don't trust the process. So let it go. The awards that matter the most are the ones when you look up on the scoreboard and go, we got that one.
One of the things that happened the other night is when we didn't get something right away, we have 4 guys standing and stare. You younger guys got to learn to keep playing. It can't be one way when one group is on the floor and a different way when another group is on the floor.
Throughout his coaching career, Geno Auriemma has never shied away from sharing his thoughts. During the latest edition of Geno On, Coach Auriemma tells us what he considers the ideal start time for a college basketball game.
I think as a coach, you want every game to be like at noon or 1. Get up, get a workout in, eat, shoot around, maybe not even have a shoot around, play. 1, 12-1. Players, I think, like 2. You sleep in a little bit later, blah, blah, blah. Nobody likes 9:30. Nobody. So anybody paying attention out there, when do you want to show our games? Not 9:30. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll give you that. 7 at the latest. Don't give me 9:30. Every NCAA tournament, we're the 9:30 game. We're the 9:30 game. Almost, I would say 90% of the time, we're the 9:30 game. And it's terrible. You're just sitting around all day, killing time. And when you're a kid, it's like, I didn't see a tournament tonight. And you're in the national championship game. What time's the game? 9:30. It's already like, now you got to sit around all day. And what are you thinking about? I hope I don't screw up this game tonight. Well, here's the other thing that happens when you're coaching a long time. When you're not very good, like when I first started coaching in Connecticut, here's the way I would go into every game. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And guess what? They're not going to have any answers for this. And I know their favorite, and I know they're number 1 in the league. Bah, 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 bah. We're going to kick their butts. Got it, guys? Got it. Then we go out and we play. Now that you're the favorite and you win all the time, you sit at home and you go, you know what's going to happen. They're going to do this, 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 and this. And you know what? We're going to get screwed. And we're going to lose. They're going to make every shot. We're not going to make anything. So you convince yourself, you know how many ways you can lose tonight? Whereas when you're not very good, you conjure up ways to win. I miss that feeling of, we're going to sneak up on you guys tonight.
Now you have everything at break. So he does that, right? She was like those toys you get at Christmas, where you get a track.
Yes.
And then you get a car. Yes. And then you go, and the thing goes, and the first turn that it gets to, it flies off into the kitchen and it goes underneath the stove and you can't find it for a while. She knew one way to play.
Presented by UConn Health.
We're back with Coach Auriemma. I was wondering if you could tell us a little about your freshmen and how they're progressing this season.
The thing about freshmen is they walk a really fine line. How cocky should they be coming in as, hey, we were first-team All-Americans. Now here we are. I'm going to show you how good I am. And how respectful should they be of the people that are already here? It's a fine line. If you come in too cocky and can't back it up, you got problems. If you come in like, hi, I'm here. If you ever need anything, let me know. I'll just be waiting over in the other room. Then you're never going to play. So it's a tough, juggling act that they have.
And Samuelson finding a rhythm.
For Lou, you talk about Stewie. The expectations on Lou were the same as they were on Stewie when Stewie came in. National Player of the Year, #1 recruit, all this, all that, and all that. And, it's not easy. And Lou has handled it not bad, not great, okay. You know, there's days in practice where you go like, wow. And then there's other practices where you just go, wow, you were the best player in the country? And, you know, and she's like, yeah, I know.
Guys look like they've never practiced before. Some of these guys. Lou went 1 for 12 in that drill. Lou, like you and Stewie, like you're in a coma. You guys stand 5 feet from each other here. Got one guy standing here and one guy standing here. It's there and there. That's why these X's are here. It's here and there, not 5 feet from each other.
And Nafisa, you know, you almost put them in the same boat. You know, like if you would say Tuck and Stewie, and Nafisa and Lou. You almost project ahead and you say, well, we've had Stewie and Tuck together. Now, hopefully, Lou and Nafisa can be like that duo. Nafisa's more like Tuck. She's just kind of steady. She just goes and does her thing.
Nafisa, that's why you have to go get the ball. Can't stand and wait for it. Go get it. You know, this group here is not a really good group because nobody is really in charge out here.
I had this conversation with them, and I basically asked them, what do you guys think when you're here? Like, tell me. Well, you know, we know that, you know, the other guys that are here before us, we know that they're capable of winning this, you know, winning by themselves, and they're great and all that. So we just want to be here, you know, to help, you know. I said, oh, that's nice. That's nice. I said, I'm glad you think that. So you think that us losing the greatest three-point shooter in the history of college basketball and the kid who broke the block shots record, we lost them, and they're just as good as they were last year without them. Is that what you're saying? Because if you're saying that, you're out of your mind. The reason we recruited you here is you guys need to help replace a lot of the stuff that happened last year with those two that graduated. And you could see them. Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, who does that? You know, that's what I'm saying. It's a fine line. You know, you don't want to walk in like I own this place, like Maya did.
Well, look at the player
you better be able to back it up.
Yeah.
Okay? And you don't want to sit there and go, well, if you need me, let me know.
When you were watching Mariah Jefferson play as a freshman, did you have an idea that she would become this good?
I thought that if we could get her to stay within the boundaries of the court, that she would have a chance to be really, really good. She was like those toys you get at Christmas, you know, where you get a track,
Yes.
and then you get a car,
Yeah.
and then you go, zzz, and the thing goes, and the first turn that it gets to, it flies off into the kitchen and it goes underneath the stove, and you can't find it for a while. That was Mariah as a freshman. She knew one way to play. Fast. And then when we said, Mariah, that's not going to work, she went faster. And we said, no, we didn't mean that, you know. And so as we've been able to kind of introduce her to lots of years, she's just been each and every game, each and every year, culminating in last year's NCAA tournament, where I thought she was maybe the best player in the whole tournament.
As a point guard, you're the leader on the floor, and you have to make sure that your teammates are comfortable and getting the right shots.
Morgan Tuck has another easy two. 9 points for Morgan.
And a perfect pass from Mariah Jefferson.
And then, obviously, defense.
And a turnover for UConn, knocked away by Mariah Jefferson, forcing another K-State turnover. Mariah does her patented move.
I think the defense starts with me because I'm in the front. So if I'm low on intensity and things like that, then my teammates will be able to pick up on that. So just making sure I'm always engaged into the game. For me, I'm really enthusiastic and loud and vocal in practice, and it's easy to hold people accountable for their actions, but at the same time, when you see somebody do the things right, you have to reinforce it and let them know that you're seeing that. So I try to be really over-dramatic and really excited for my teammates when they make a play.
You shrink the court, Mo. You dribble all the way down to here. Stay wide.
Freshman year was terrible. Trying to understand, what he wanted from me and just kind of playing my role of you know, maybe not being a scoring guard or knowing when to shoot, when not to shoot. It was a lot for me to take on, but once you really understand, you know, what it is that he wants from you, it's easy.
Mo, how'd that happen? How'd that happen? That doesn't happen to senior guards, not when they're really good. Anybody say anything to Mo that there was a guy chasing her down?
You can look at any player and say there's things that they need to improve on. And Mariah knows that about herself. I think she does have the capability of doing everything. We would like her to do everything on the same night every night. I don't think people realize how hard that is to do. She makes it look so easy, the stuff she does. I know that it's hard. I couldn't do half the stuff that kid does. One thing that I really love about her and it's fun to coach about her is that every day she just wants to get better. She wants to be better for her teammates. She wants to do everything that you ask her to do. And for a player of her caliber, I don't know how common that is.
Samuelson lost the handle. Jefferson, count that, and the foul.
She was expected to be great, but just because you expect it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And for her, it's happened. She's become great, and she's the best point guard in the country.
Show presented by UConn Health.
In a game scenario, you're not going to get unlimited opportunities to win the game. I really wanted you guys to win today. Like some days, I want you to lose. Today, I really wanted you guys to win, because you have to know what it feels like to fight back and win, and what it takes to win.
When it comes to teaching the game of basketball, few have the skill set that Coach Auriemma possesses. But was teaching in a classroom ever on Geno's radar? That's the topic in this edition of Geno On.
My first 4 years here, 5 years, I don't know, whatever it was, Chris and I, we had to coach and we had to teach a class. So that was part of the deal. So it wasn't like you're the basketball coach at Connecticut and that's it. No, you have to teach a class. And because I was a political science major, I got off easy. I teach racquetball and then racquetball, and then because I played some tennis in college, then I taught tennis. But CD taught, she taught a jogging class. And CD being CD, I think she was an education major in college. She was a much better teacher than I was, and she took it very seriously. And those kids were really held under their feet to the fire in that jogging class. And one of the assignments was you had to come to a game. So she made them come to games as part of their jogging class. And I remember saying to her, I said, you know, I can't wait to the kid that doesn't get into medical school because they got a D in jogging.
We're coming off a Geno On where you described that you had to teach when you first started working here. You were doing tennis and racquetball, is that right?
Correct.
And then CD had to teach as well, and they gave her jogging.
Correct.
Do you remember? Do you remember sharing that story?
Yeah, so I was doing something at least I was vaguely familiar with, tennis and racquetball I had played, and CD was doing something she was totally unfamiliar with, jogging. I don't think she had ever jogged a day in her life. And I took it for what it was, you know. This is kind of like phys ed in high school. You know, you have to take a class, it's 1 credit, so let's have some fun with it. You know, I'm not going to be that, you know, horrible phys ed teacher. Now, you go to the other side of the tracks and you got CD who's got jogging, and she's treating it like it's anatomy. You know, and these guys are all going to go like study the human body and what happens when you jog, and she's going to give you a test that you're going to have to, we didn't have Google at the time, you're actually going to go to the library and look up, you know, the origins of jogging. But the upshot of that was if you came to our games and you were in a class, you got extra credit. So that got us a lot of extra things. I don't know, getting college kids to take a jogging class, I don't know. Unless you're standing outside Ted's waiting for them to come out at 3 o'clock in the morning and the police are chasing them. You get them to jog, you get them to run, actually.
Were you surprised that this was in your contract? If you were going to be a basketball coach here, you know, you had to do this stuff on the side.
Yeah. It wasn't out of the ordinary because that's what every coach was expected to do back in the day. Because coaching was part of the curriculum of of a staff member. I mean, for me, I always thought of it as, hey, we're introducing kids to a game that maybe they wouldn't take on otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, so kids sitting there going, I have to take I'm going to take tennis. Why? I've always wanted to play tennis. So they don't want to show up and have somebody hitting forehands right at their head. Going, all right, kid, what's wrong with you? So they just want to enjoy the game. So let's have fun.
Yeah.
And that's how I took it.
And you like tennis, and you
I
play
do. I
tennis.
love it.
So did you?
I like playing tennis.
Okay.
With good tennis players that can make me better.
Okay.
My idea of watching kids who have never played tennis swing and miss.
Torture.
That wasn't my idea of enjoying tennis.
How long did this last? That this was part of your contract, the tennis and the racquetball.
I don't know. Actually, we were in the field house, and you know, I would say 4 or 5 years maybe, max. And then I think I don't know how it went away, or maybe they realized what a sham it was, you know, or the coaches started complaining or something. I don't know. Or maybe the students complaining, hey, I want a real tennis teacher. I don't know. Something happened. It just went away.
Did CD stop teaching jogging as soon as you stopped teaching?
I don't know. I think she enjoyed it. But she likes that control over people. You know, you ever see her on the sideline? Do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't go over there, don't yell at that ref, do this. Enough already. If they hadn't gotten Bin Laden when they got him, I would have said, send CD over, she'll find him. No question. Absolutely. Nobody's going to hide from her.
That does it for us this week. We hope you enjoyed the Geno Auriemma Show, presented by UConn Health. For upcoming show dates and times, make sure to check out sny.tv/UConn. I'm Kareth Burke. We'll see you next time.